Oh my days, even with the Season 4 update, this M4 setup is still meta. Dropped you guys a nasty MGB. If you're trying to get better, go watch it. Okay, so the class for the M4, this is pretty similar to some of my other builds, but I did refine it a little bit, and I'm really confident this is my favorite setup. So for the first attachment, you got a couple different options for the muzzles. The one that I am going to be running in the gameplay is the FJX Fulcrum Pro. This one gives you a lot of horizontal and vertical recoil control, all around a very good muzzle. Another pretty good one is the Sock and Tread 40, which this muzzle is going to give a lot of vertical and a little bit of horizontal. Previously, I did run this. I just found myself doing better with the Fulcrum Pro. And then another very good one is the RF Crown. They all basically do the same thing. You're not going to notice that much of a difference unless you're like a very good player. So now the weapon is going to have a lot of recoil control, but it is going to be a little bit slower. So to bring up the mobility, we are going to be going over to the rear grip, and you want to throw on the X10 grip. This is going to increase the ADS speed and that sprint to fire speed, which the main reason we are running this grip is just to increase that sprint to fire speed. Yo, do you want these beautiful mastery camos or that heated madness, maybe the galvanic, or if you want your account ranked up to iridescent? Well, you should definitely check out Gwapsi. Gwapsi is a company that will play the game for you, and they'll get any camo or any skin that you want. Go check them out, link in the description. And then for the tuning, you want to go ahead and again increase the overall mobility. Basically, whenever I use this rear grip, I always run the same stuff. I'll just increase the overall mobility. And then for the muzzle, you do want to increase that recoil stabilization. This is going to reduce that horizontal recoil control, which that's going to really help out in those long range gunfights. And then as you guys can tell, this used to say gun kick control. Now it says recoil control. I believe it still only affects your vertical recoil, and so you just want to increase that. And so now there should be way less recoil on the weapon, and we're going to have a pretty good sprint to fire speed. This next attachment, we're going to increase the mobility even more. I used to only run this stock on the Tempest P80 Strike. I mean, on the long range M4, the one with the high tower barrel. And so this one is going to really increase the mobility. It just hurts the recoil control a lot, but you guys will see the before and after. So before we throw this on, you will see that the strafe speed is kind of good on the weapon. It's not like that good, but it is decent. But when we go ahead and throw on this Tempest P80, which is going to allow us to run around the map quicker, we're going to have more strafe speed. We're going to be able to crouch move a little bit quicker, and it's going to make the weapon snappier. And so now the weapon is going to be way lighter, and it doesn't seem that much of a difference, but from the enemy's POV, it's a massive difference. And so now you will be a harder target to hit, plus you're going to have more rotational aim assist because you'll be able to strafe in your gunfight. And then for the tuning, you want to go ahead and increase the aim walking speed. Yes, I know we are losing aiming stability, and so you might want to increase the aiming auto stability, but we are going to be using a underbarrel that's going to compensate that. And then you want to increase the ADS speed, making the weapon feel a little bit lighter, which is going to be very helpful because I am going to be running a magazine, although I don't always run a magazine, so I'll give you a variation. But in the gameplay, we are going to be running the 45 round mag. This actually is so nice. I used to never run the 45 just because it really hurts the mobility, but I found that it doesn't hurt it that much. Like, you still can completely pop off, and your sprint to fire speed's still pretty good, and you just don't need to reload as often. So I do really recommend you guys to try out that 45 round mag. But now we have a lot of mobility, a little bit of recoil control, and a lot of ammo. So this next attachment, we are going to be going over to the underbarrel, and we are going to be adding the Commando foregrip, which is going to add a lot of recoil control, and it's not going to really hurt the ADS speed that much. Although if you are a little bit newer to the game, or you're just a fan of no recoil, like zero recoil weapons, then I would throw on the Edge 47 or the F-Tac Ripper. These two underbarrels are basically the same thing, but the reason I'm not running them is because they do hurt the ADS speed a decent amount, and I'm a pretty aggressive player, so I like the Commando. And then if you're a very good player, try out the Shark Fin 90. This isn't going to give you that much recoil control, but you're going to have absolutely zero cons, so the weapon will be very snappy. But for me, I'm going to be running the Commando. And then the tunings I'm about to give for this, you want to tune all the underbarrels the same exact way. Basically, just increase that recoil stabilization, and then increase the aim and auto stability because we are losing a lot with that stock. And so this is the build we're running in the gameplay. But if you don't want to run a 45 round mag, feel free to throw on an ammo. The ammo I would stick between is the high velocity, overpressured, and the armor piercing. In this case, I'm going to be running the overpressured. And then because we are not running a barrel, majority of the barrels increase the bow velocity. So when you go to tune the ammo, usually I'll go ahead and increase that recoil steadiness. But since we don't have a barrel, I'm going to increase the bow velocity. And it looks like the game stopped tuning. And so for the tuning, we're going to increase the ball velocity to right about there and then increase the damage range. So now we have about 4% more damage range. This is a very good build if you don't want to run a magazine. If you want to run a optic, like if you don't like the iron sights. Before that though, take a look at these iron sights. It might look like there's a lot of recoil, but that front sight really doesn't move. It's just that back sight right there. It kind of moved a little bit, but I just messed up. That back sight really doesn't, I mean, the back sight moves a lot. That front sight really doesn't move, so it's just a lot of visual recoil, not that much actual recoil. So that's why I don't run an optic, and most people don't run an optic. But say you do want to run an optic, I would run the Chrono Mini Pro, Chrono Mini Dot, or the Slimline Pro. For me, I'll usually stick between the Chrono Mini Pro or the Slimline Pro, and then I will go ahead and I will bring up the flinch resistance, making it a little bit easier to stay on target when the enemies are shooting at you, and then I'll make it farther away, reducing that visual recoil. So this is another very good build. So there is one more thing that you can do. You can take off the optic or that magazine. For me, what I would usually do if I want to run a laser, I'll take off the rear grip and then I'll go over to the laser and I'll add the OLE laser. The reason for that is because the laser is doing the same exact thing as the rear grip. It's just the enemies can see the laser, which is why I usually don't run a laser. But if I want to run a laser, I'll take off the rear grip and then add a laser, unless I'm trying to make the weapon super light. This is actually a super fun build as well. You guys should definitely try out that one if you're very aggressive. But for the laser, increase that sprint to fire speed and then that ADS speed. And so if you do want a screenshot of all the classes, here is a max mobility one, and then the one that we are running in the gameplay is right here. And just remember, if you want, you can take off the rear grip and add a laser, or you can take off the 45 and add an optic ammunition. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing a little bit of a voiceover today, just because, you know, I want to explain what I'm doing in the gameplay so you guys can get a little bit better. And that little cut right there of my settings were on like 200 render resolution, so I just had to fix that. And my shots are a little bit shaky. It's because I just got back from my trip in Vegas. I went down there for COD Champs, and this is just my first game on, which we did get a nasty nuke, and I think we only died once, so it's a pretty nasty gameplay. And then we got one more after this where I got like multiple MGBs in there, one of my best KDs on the game, so you do not want to miss that one. And so basically over here, I'm just trying to rotate around, figuring out where the enemies are gonna be. Because of squad spawns in this game, if you see one enemy, more than likely there is going to be another enemy over there. And so just always look for that one enemy, and then you just kind of know where the enemies are going to be coming from. And then once you always see an enemy coming from a certain area, that's probably a spawn location. There's basically like big circle spawn locations where someone can spawn in any part of that big circle, and then it just depends where the teammates are, because, you know, everyone spawns on each other. And so I'm just rotating around, and I got the UAV. I'm trying to speedrun this advanced UAV. This advanced UAV makes everything so much easier right there. That guy got finessed. I think that was a little EDP on the floor. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he was eating a cupcake or something. That guy was not that good. And I just know all the enemies are around me, so I'm just rotating around. And, you know, I just know exactly where to pre-aim because I've played on this map a lot, and I kind of know where the common spot that the enemies go to. And so just to talk a little bit about the Vegas trip, so I went down there for COD Champs, and oh my god, yo, Vegas is crazy. Like, I've been there before with my ex, but I wasn't 21. Now I'm 22. Damn, that place is actually unreal. If you've ever been to Vegas and you got some crazy stories, you should let me know in the comment section. I'm kind of curious if anyone has any crazy experiences over there. Basically, Vegas is just a place where you party and you lose all your money. So basically, I got there, I was meeting my buddies that I met on ranked play, which is kind of crazy. I was playing ranked one day when ranked first came out, just playing solo. I get paired up with these guys, and we do pretty good. I'm like, you know what? Like, I was doing good, and they still carried me, so maybe if I join them, we can win some more games. Over here, I'm surprised the spawns didn't flip. I was kind of like in their spawn. So I guess on this map, like the spawns, it's really hard to switch them. Because, or maybe my teammates were just in all the other spawn locations, so the enemies were forced to spawn here. But basically, just make sure you don't push up in the spawn too much, because the spawns will flip and things. And so basically, I was meeting a bunch of friends that I met on ranked play, and I've been talking to them for a few months and things. Met up with them. Very cool people. It's always nice to like meet the people that you've been playing with online, because you already got that chemistry and you just actually see each other, which is crazy. And yeah, so I hung out with them for a little bit. I got there like Friday night, so I missed Thursday and Friday of the event, but the event went from Thursday to Sunday, so I just missed Thursday and Friday. Then on Friday, hung out with them for a little bit. Then we went down to the strip. Oh my days, yo, the strip is crazy. Oh, there's the MGB. Yo, if you want to get better Call of Duty, you like me for some reason, you should definitely subscribe with the notifications on and leave a like. If we can get about 20,000 likes, that would be amazing. I'll get 20,000 likes if we get 20,000 likes. There we go. That's a crazy deal. And so basically, we went down to the strip, and that place is crazy. I got the first thing I bought. I usually don't like smoke or drink that much, but you know, we're in Vegas, so I was like, fuck it. I saw a cigar stand and I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna get one of those. Almost got finessed into buying a $60 cigar, which then I, you know, still got finessed because I bought a $40 one. I still want to sound cheaper. I don't know. I got like intimidated. They're all like, everyone there was scary. So I bought a freaking $40 cigar, which that thing lasted like 2 days and I had help. Like that thing was so difficult to finish. I wish I got a funny picture with it. I don't know why I didn't. So many missed opportunities. Like I didn't take any pictures or anything, but you know, I was just enjoying the moment. But next time, I gotta take some funny pictures and things because that cigar was massive. I had this mom walk up to me. She was probably like 50, you know, low-key a baddie. She put her arm around me and was like, I think that cigar is a little too big for you. And then I was like, you know what else is a little bit too big for you? No, I'm joking. I didn't say that. I got too nervous. And so then, yeah, so I had the cigar and then I went to go get a drink and I got like a gin and tonic. I think it was $9. And I was like, oh, that's cheap. Bar was kind of busy, so I was like, you know what, I'll give this lady a nice tip. So then she helps me first. Maybe she can pour it a little bit stronger. And you know, so I gave her a $9 tip. The drink cost $9. And she says thank you and everything. Looks me in the eye, says thank you. Then I go back for a second drink. Order the same thing. It cost $14. I was like, what the hell? Do you think I'm balling or something? Like, I thought I was gonna get like a discounted drink or a stronger one. Nah, I got the same drink. That was crazy, Katie. That was 46 and 1. Damn. So I got the same drink, and it was $14. And I was like, what the hell? So I gave her a smaller tip, and then I went to someone else, and that drink was like 18. I was like, yo, I'm getting the same drink, but it went from $9 to $18. Like, what the hell is this? And I was like, oh, my money is just so gone. And then, what the heck? My screen that I'm watching just went completely black. It says connecting, and it says build version. Ubisoft Connect? Yo, was X Defiant loaded up? Okay, we're all back. That was super annoying. It just loaded up the game on my screen. I couldn't get it off. And so, basically, the drinks, you know, they change a lot. And, you know, it's kind of hung out for a little bit there. A lot of baddies. But I noticed they all have, like, it's a group of girls or a girl with their man. So it's like you can't really walk up to anybody. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know. It's like too intimidating. You're not going to walk up to 12 females. And then you're not going to walk up to a female when they got Hulk next to them. Because everyone's there is just jacked and just muscular and tall and just giga chat. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of outclassed here. And so basically, you know, I had a great night with my homies. Oh, so I went to a digital roulette table. And that table, I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never played roulette. I just play games. So I went there, I put in $100, and then I accidentally bet like $100 on like 4 numbers. Obviously, it didn't land on those 4 numbers, so I lost $100 in like a second. And then I accidentally hit a button again. And I think I did the same bet again for another 100. And I just accidentally lost $200 in like 4 minutes. I was like, dude, this sucks. Went to a slot machine, won a little bit of money, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep on going. Maybe I can win big. Usually if I ever go to a casino, which I've only been like 4 or 5 times, I always have, once I win more than I put in, even if it's like $20, I'll just like take that home just so I have a positive, you know, gain. Like I've only won money at casinos. Now my stupid ass kept betting. I went down to like $86, and then that's when I went to the digital roulette table. I got the story a little bit backwards, and then I lost the 86 and lost 100 on top of that. So that was horrible. Still fun though. Went back home, had some pizza. My boy Jimbo and Goba, I play ranked with them. No, Jimbo just watches. He just hangs out on the stream. So they made some pizza. It was a Red Baron pizza. Like, hey, Cbass, you want some pizza? I was like, you, I would love some pizza. I eat some pizza. I ate like half the pizza. And then in the morning, my stomach's just turning. Like, oh, why do I feel sick? It's not like a hangover sickness either. And I took a liquid IV, so I knew I wouldn't be like that hungover. And I didn't even drink that much. And I was just like, I feel sick. And I went to the bathroom, shit myself. I like kind of puked a little bit, you know, little upchucks gags. And then I went back to bed, and it's still like a little bit weird, and I barely slept. And then at like 7 a.m., I'm like half awake, and I hear like somebody, I think it was Jim, he was like, yo, this pizza was expired. I was like, ayo, what the fuck? And I'm like half awake, and they said that thing is expired. I was like, okay. And then the entire day, I just felt so sick. I tried to play it off like I wasn't sick, but I was just talking to my homies, like stuttering a lot and just like not feeling comfortable because my stomach was hurting so much. I even went to the bathroom and puked and shit myself again, and I was just like not having it. I still had a good time. I was just like, you know, when you're just sick, it was just horrible. And the nauseous sick too. It wasn't just a headache, it was just nauseous. I should have went and got some Tums or something. I was just trying to play cool. Hey, another MGB, you gotta leave a like if you haven't. You gotta leave a like again. You gotta get that second account in here, leave a like. And so then we went to the event after the morning, after I puked and things, and we watched FaZe win, and I think Optic lost or something. Overall, you know, still good. I was rooting for Optic because I wanted Ghosty to win, but overall, I'm glad that New York Subliners won. And so those events went on. Super sick to see the people in person. That is so wild. Like the Flank, which is Zuma's podcast, he was there. He had like a booth, and I like walked by him. I could like hear his voice and like see him. It was so wild. And then also I saw like all the pro players, and that was so wild. It was just so weird like seeing everyone in person. Right there, that guy was annoying. I almost got another nuke on dead silence without running out of dead silence. That would have been a silent nuke, but then I died, so I guess it was a dead silence nuke. That's funny. And so then, yeah, it was just wild seeing all the people there. The event was cool. I'm actually, you know, FaZe Cbass now. Let's see if this focuses. Come on. Yeah, look at that. We're FaZe Cbass. And also, when I was in line to get that picture taken, there's a dude that turned around and he's like, hey, I've seen you on YouTube. You make class edit videos. I was like, hey, yeah, dude. And I kind of like froze up a little bit. I didn't really stutter, but I was just like, I want to say some stuff, but I just couldn't. I was just like, you know, frozen. It was like a lady with some tickle bitties just walked up to me, and I was just like frozen. I was like, oh my days. I'm sorry if there's any woman watching you. I'm sorry if I offended you. I'm usually not like this. Actually, yeah, I am. But and so then, yeah, so that was there, and that was super sick, and he asked to take a picture with me, and I was just freaking out, like, low-key in my head, just because I got recognized, and someone wanted to take a picture. That was the first time ever in my life, and that was just so wild. And so if you are watching this, I'm sorry I was a little bit awkward. I was just, like, starstruck. I was like, oh my gosh, that's insane. It actually wasn't that awkward. I was just, like, I was just frozen, kind of. And, oh, right here, I was trying to mess with him, trying to get the execution, and then he looked up and he killed me. So, you know, that's what happens when you mess with your meat. Not that type of meat, this guy's. Whoa, well, that sounds horrible. I take that back. And so then we went to the event, you know, had a great time. I'm definitely going to go next time. Then we went back home, took a little bit of a nap, and then we went back out to the strip, and we went to this place called Primal. That place has some nice no, not nice prime rib, just nice steaks, but super expensive though. Like me and my boy Joseph, cracked ass player, played with him on stream a lot. Very good player. He could be in the CDL if he wanted to, but he just doesn't play enough, and he doesn't, you know, have that mindset. And I think he's getting a little bit older, which he still can, but you know, when he was younger, he just kind of lost the opportunity to do that. And so then basically, we went to the Primal place. I got this drink, and it was like, it had dry ice in there. It was called like the Vikings Cup or something. If you follow my Instagram and you saw my story, you for sure saw it. It's like a bubbly drink. Super good. Best drink I've ever had. Cost like 20 bucks though. And then me and my boy Josh just split a $92 steak. The side was like $9. The appetizer was like 22. So what the fuck? Why do I have a side for my side for my side? And all of it was like $9 bucks. Crazy expensive. But I didn't really care because I never go on vacation. So I was like, I really don't care. And then had that. Ate about half my steak. Drank my drink. Then I got nauseous because that pizza messed me up the whole day. Then I went to the bathroom. I puked up everything. That was the coolest bathroom I've ever been in. If you've been to Primal, you know what I'm talking about. And so I just puked up a $92 steak with a $20 drink and like a $9 mashed potatoes. And so that was you know, that wasn't too good. I felt better after. I still was feeling pretty sick though. Then we went back out to the strip. And this night, I don't really remember what happened. But I didn't really drink that much, but I don't remember what happened. Basically, I just lost money. That's all it was. I just lost like $200 again on slots because I don't know what I'm doing. And on the way home, we took an Uber, and there's a Rubik's Cube in there. And I was like, oh, look, I'm going to try to solve this Rubik's Cube. And my boy, I think it was Goba, he was like, hey, I'll give you 20 bucks if you solve that cube. And so I started messing with that cube, and I know how to solve a Rubik's Cube. And so it was in the dark though, so I was pretty surprised that I solved it in like a minute and a half. And I give it back to them, and they're all like starstruck. They're like, hey, yo, what did this man just solve a Rubik's Cube? It was so funny. And then they gave me 20 bucks. I feel like I finessed them. I didn't really mean to do that, but I was just gonna buy them something in the future anyway. So there was that. That was crazy. And then we went back home. Oh, these dudes stay up for so long. So long. I was like, Jesus. I was ready to go to bed at midnight. No, we got back at 1 a.m. and I was ready for bed. Dude, these guys stayed up until 4 a.m. and I ain't trying to go to bed first. So I just stayed up. I was kind of like half asleep on the couch. But, you know, just hanging out with them. But I was just in pain. Like, my stomach was just hurting the whole time. Then the next day rolls around. Take a shower, you know. I feel better. Take a massive shit. My stomach isn't hurting anymore at all. And I'm just so happy about that. So, you know, just had a great day. Went to the finals. The finals was New York Subliners versus Toronto Ultra. Toronto Ultra, I was rooting for them to win. Because Scrap was on there. A lot of people don't like Scrap because he trash talks a lot, but I think it's good for the community because a lot of people are kind of boring personalities. Nothing wrong with that, but I think it's fun when there's a lot of like fun personalities just for the content side of things. And so, rooting for Ultra. Sit down. So far, the games are not going good. New York Subliners was up by 2 games. It's best of 9, so first to win 5 games wins. And New York Subliners beat the Ultra team 2 times. Then I'm like, okay, I went to go get some food, came back, and then they start playing, and then it's just downhill for Ultra from there. And it ends up being 5-0 New York Subliners win. And it's funny, the day before when Scrap's team Ultra, they 3-0'd New York Subliners the day before to send the Subliners to the losers bracket, which they beat Seattle. Oh, I watched Optic lose too. That was so heartbreaking. That was horrible. They need to mix something up. They all just like ego chowed everything. It was like a 3v1 at the end. And if the one person, it was Sid from the Seattle Surge, he got a 1v3 against Dashy, Ghosty, and I think it was Huke. And they lost it. It was because Dashy low-key kind of ego chowed the Sib, and it was just horrible. I was like, oh, what are you doing, my guy? There's too much ego. They need to work more as a team, I think. I don't know too much about CDL, so I'm not the best person to comment about it, but that's what it seemed like. So basically, for the day that I was talking about, where it was Subliners going against Ultra, and they just completely blew them out. It's 5-0. It was the quickest game on Earth. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not the best at telling stories, so I gotta go back in time. The day before, when Ultra 3-0'd Subliners, right there, I kind of had an ego. That's like Dashy playing against Sib on that Seattle game. You know, you can't have an ego when you're playing. And so then, Scrap was talking shit about all the New York Subliners. Hydra's on the New York Subliners, and he's the best player in the world. Like, actually, the best COD player in the world right now. And he was calling out everybody on the Subliners but Hydra, just saying without Hydra, all these players are shit and everything. And then the next day rolls around, and Subliners 5-0 Ultra, which is just so crazy. And it was so quick. The games lasted like an hour. It was the quickest day of my life. I was like, what the hell? So then, you know, it's kind of boring. It was like an annoying championship. It was still cool, but you know, you want to watch like a neck-and-neck game. And then we go home, chill for a bit. Then we go back out to the strip. I'm like, damn, 3 days of partying. Oh, I think it was the night before we went to Senior Froggies. Dude, that place is loud. I was gonna go, you know, talk to some lady, some shorty. And I was gonna, you know, get the number maybe. But it was so loud that I'm like, yo, how's it going? She's like, what? I'm like, hey, can I get your number? What? That never happened, but that would have happened. And so it's just way too loud and stuff. So that was the night before. And then the next night, we go over. We're at this one casino hanging out there. And I bet 300 on red because I'm down 300 or 400 for the entire trip. So then I bet 300 on red. The motherfucker lands on black. So I'm down 600 and about another 200. I lost that. So I'm down like 800 bucks. That was basically everything. I'll talk more about it on the stream. And so I'll see you guys in tomorrow. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and deuces.